Welcome to the Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Network, where we are building faith and transforming lives, where our senior pastor is the Reverend James I. Perkins.
Well, good evening, our viewers, and welcome to Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Straight Talk. We're honored this evening to have two special guests, two good friends of mine, and I appreciate that friend word. Two good friends of mine that we'll be talking to this evening, and we're just going to straight talk. Is what it is. It's straight talk, and we're going to be engaging and just follow along with us. And if you have anything, just give us a call while we're here, and we'll try to answer. So, gives me pleasure to introduce Councilman John Beal, Councilman David Stevens, who will be our guest today. And thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here.
Thank you for having us.
And
thanks for the opportunity.
And always just straight talk, guys. We know each other, and that may be not a good thing. But nevertheless, I just wanted to begin this conversation, as we all are familiar with, is the citizens course and our taxes. A lot of people have questions about our taxes raising up or going down or remaining steady. And if either one of you guys can just chime in and just share with us your views and what we have talked about just previously about the taxes in Lenoir. Either one of Jonathan, we'll start with you since
Okay.
you're the younger one.
I'm the young, that's right.
I know you like that young thing.
Yeah, I do. Well, thank you for having us. As a councilman, our primary job is to be a good steward of tax money, to take the taxpayer money and make good decisions about services for the city of Lenoir and its residents and its businesses. When we take that tax money in through sales tax or property tax, it goes into one of two budgets: the general budget, or goes into the water budget, depending on how that money is received. And each year we really take a painstaking process to make a budget, to make sure that we are reviewing all of the current services, to make sure that we are providing quality services to our residents and our businesses, and take the responsibility of spending that tax money to benefit all of our citizens.
Thank you. David, you used a term earlier, and I don't want to try to repeat it because I will butcher it and mess it up. Could you share with us, David, that term that you use that will help us to understand the tax rate and what we're doing?
Let me give you a little background first of all. At least every 8 years, we have to have a reevaluation of all the properties in Lenoir. And that's done by the county because Lenoir is part of the county. So we have approximately $28 billion worth of property, including automobiles and so forth. So that's personal property and real property. And so at least every 8 years, we get a new valuation on all these properties, given to us by the county. And generally speaking, we like to see that go up every year. I mean, every 8 years. In this last revaluation that we had last year, the properties basically were flat, but they went up a little bit. So if we kept our rate the same as it was last year, we would be hitting the citizens for more money. And so what we did is we have a valuation in the city, and we look for what we call revenue neutral, which means that if we were doing okay with the monies that we made off of the property taxes before the revaluation, we can actually drop the tax rate and still realize the same income. So that's what we call revenue neutral.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And one other aspect, I think, regarding the city is our department heads. We have some of the greatest people that are running our department that you couldn't ask for any better, which makes a council people's jobs a lot better because these guys do such a great job with the fund balance. Or Miss Donna does a great job with our finances. We had it on, I guess, David, you may help me here. Was it the evaluation that not our finance rate, but our CPA comes in periodically and gives us a report
Our audited
on
financial.
what we're doing. And last time that we had a council meeting, he was there, and he praised the city and the department heads for doing such a good job with the monies and that we have to provide these services for our city. So guys, and I know you guys can say the same thing, I am so proud to be a part of that and have the people that are behind the scene doing the work that sort of makes us look good as we standing there in front of the people or sitting there in front of the people.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about that. As a councilman, all kinds of information comes to you and all kinds of numbers. It's just so much. And our staff and all of our employees absolutely do a fantastic job of providing services, working with the public, working for the public.
Yeah.
And every year when the budget year ends, there's some money left over because our employees have done some things that have saved taxpayer money.
Mm-hmm.
And I say all the time that the city of Lenoir works because the people who work for the city
Work.
Yes, because all these jobs that may not be glamorous, but they are so important to the everyday work of the city and for the residents. And it's an honor when I go to a fire station to tell the firemen hello, or I ride the garbage truck and see how those jobs go. It makes such an impact on me about how great our employees are.
Very good.
But the difference between our employees, and I echo the same thing you said, they're great employees, but they live these numbers every day.
Right.
We see them once a year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we get updates all through the year, but they live their jobs every day. And they may be the first person to know how to save some money.
Absolutely.
And we encourage them to share that information with their supervisors and with us.
Yeah. Jonathan, you made a statement, and we need to clear that up. You said that you ride the trash truck. Now, where are you riding? Are you on the in front, or are you back here?
Before the pandemic, I spent a full day, actually 2 different times, riding with the sanitation department. And part of the time I rode in the front, and then when we got on some back streets, I actually jumped on the back.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to see what that felt like going through those really tiny streets.
Oh, Lord.
And I tell you, one of the most dangerous jobs in the city works is riding on the back of a sanitation truck.
Is that how you hurt your knee?
No.
Okay.
No. But one thing we have done recently is we bought the new automated trucks to do most of our routes. And part of that was a safety issue, not just a service issue. Because I saw, some of our workers getting ready to jump off the back of the truck to get cans from a resident, and a car went straight by, whizzing by, and I thought, oh my goodness, these guys, which happened to be all guys at that time, they are doing a very dangerous job. Absolutely. And we don't necessarily always appreciate those jobs unless they don't happen. And our police and our street department, our cemetery and grounds crew, technology maintenance, all of those workers have important jobs, or it would not be a job.
I know for the last 4 years, my last 4 years here, we have been discussing and talking about people moving into the city, and everything, everything that we have put forth is a way of enticing people, businesses, residents, all over Lenoir. Now you see new structures rising up. It's one time, I believe, guys, we had we still probably do, major problem with people finding somewhere to live. So can we just address that? Now, I'm saying I can see it all over now, where you see new structures going up, and up 321 out in our little suburbs. So I can appreciate that as a council that we are addressing these problems that exist in our city. So
that's a difficult problem for us to address as a council, because it takes the input of private citizens to go and build a house. They've got to put their money on the line to build that house. So when we had the downturn in 2009 with the real estate market, that killed us. There were a lot of folks who had been in the building business for years and years, and that took a lot of those folks out. And we have not had a lot of people going back into that market. So
good.
We try to encourage that whenever we can.
Yes.
housing is a major issue for Lenoir specifically, because I think the last number we saw was about 1,800 units short
Yeah.
of the number of housing units that we really need inside the city limits. There are some new houses being built. The pandemic has created this storm of rehab and new construction. We do have a new apartment complex that is being built behind the State Employees Credit Union. And we also have the Bluebell building, which is being repurposed into market rate apartments. And so we have some new structures going up. And I think as we move forward, we'll see more. The biggest thing that city council does is rezone property to make it possible to build new housing, especially multifamily housing. And then infrastructure. For example, where I have just built a new house, one reason I chose that lot was because the city had already done the infrastructure in the ground. There was already curb and gutter, there was already water and sewer in, and so that was attractive to me and my wife, that those things were already in place. And so those types of things the city can do, but we can't make an investment in the actual housing. That takes private investment.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have quite a few shovel-ready lots available in the city.
Yeah.
And one of the things that that our planning folks have done recently is they've prepared a listing, if you will, of available lots in the city that are ready to build today.
Yeah.
Because it has what you said, you know, it already has the infrastructure there, and we're ready to go.
Right. And on the city website, there's a tab under planning that's ready to build, RTB. And those are neighborhoods that have the infrastructure, they have the curb and gutter. And that's how I found my lot. And I live here, and I've lived here for a long time, but that's how I found my lot, through that specific place on the website. And so hopefully more people will be looking at that as we go forward.
We just need builders.
We need builders.
Yeah. Well, you pointed at me when you said that. You're not talking about me building.
No, please don't.
We talked about infrastructure, which is a great thing that we have. And David, like you said, there are a lot of properties that are shovel ready to go simply because of the curbing and the guttering. And I think that our people have done a great job on that, is preparing these lots or wherever they're at for that, which is a good, enticing, I guess, way to show people, hey, look, we're ready for you to move. We're ready to build your house. So can we just talk a little bit about, I think, Jonathan, you brought it up, the infrastructure, because of where you chose to build your home. It was good stuff. The underground piping. Before you get there, David, you and I, and maybe Jonathan understands this, we have so many underground big pipings, and a lot of, we just had maybe 3 or 4 years ago down, I think it's at Boston Lumber Company, that area, where those things just collapse.
Right.
So we've got to stay focused on that underground stuff, which was built way before
we have a lot of water and sewer lines underground that are over 100 years old.
Yeah. So that's like I said, before you and I.
Yes, and I appreciate you saying that.
Well, you know, our infrastructure is quite strong, but it's because we can maintain it.
Yeah.
The water budget is separate from the general budget. And we also have a CIP, which is Capital Improvements Plan. And so currently, looking forward almost about 10 years, we have multiple projects of replacing pipe, so that we're always looking forward to replace things before they break down on us. But we also have money to fix problems when they do happen. For example, in Uptown Lenoir, right underneath the fire station, there is an old water line that's actually brick and mortar. And the firemen can walk from Uptown Lenoir all the way to the Sonic in that pipe, because it's so big. But it's brick and at some point you're going to have to replace these things. And so part of our job as councilmen is to take information from staff and plan that way out. And you know, our water system pumps about 10 million gallons a day, and that's clean water into the homes. And then that water that's been used that comes back out gets recleaned and goes back into the ecosystem cleaner than when it came out. And so we're blessed with that. And we have a couple 100 miles of streets,
Yeah.
And our street department is watching that every day. In
Mhm.
fact, we recently bought a hot box, which allows us to make small patches, and
Yeah.
that was a great savings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That one of our employees came to his superintendent and said, if we buy this piece of machinery, we can save $400 every time we
Yeah.
use it, and it's
Yeah.
already paid for itself.
Yeah. You know, Jonathan, to your point, a lot of these repairs come from our own employees, most of them, and we're so blessed to have people that have that kind of knowledge that we have retained them over the years. And of course, we're losing some because of retirement, but we're trying to get all in before this knowledge and this wisdom goes away, David.
Yeah, they do a great job too.
Yeah.
You know, there's still some areas that we don't know what's underground.
Right.
You know, but we recently got a grant several years ago to help inventory.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of water and sewer lines are
Yeah.
underneath,
Yeah.
you know, underground. So.
Yeah. You know, another good feature that we have in Lenoir, and David, you keep us abreast to this, the greenways, because you and your wife frequently walk the greenways.
Every day.
And report that, and we are proud of that, and the Recreation Department, as well as the city, is trying to do a great job in keeping it clean and keeping it safe for our residents to walk. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys can help me. We are planning, and this is a project or I guess a vision that the mayor has. He always tells me, we going to Morganton with this greenway. but that is another, I guess, asset for the city.
Oh, and it probably, in my 18 years on this council,
Yeah.
I have not had any other item that has brought so much praise from our citizens.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Greenway. We have about 10 miles of
Yeah.
paved Greenway.
That's great.
And
That's
during
great.
the pandemic, the Greenway became everybody's gymnasium.
Yes, it did.
And
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. And, you know, we were so blessed as a city with the Parks and Rec that we have.
Yeah.
That when we had the pandemic hit, we still had lots of outdoor spaces. And
Yeah.
people could at least get out and not be closed up in their house all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Greenway, I think eventually it's going to be about 22 miles is the
Yeah.
total plan. Not all of that's
Somewhere
done
there,
yet.
yeah.
And then the Over Mountain Victory Trail
Yeah.
will also eventually connect.
Yeah.
But it is a great feature. I use it all the time, and you know, it's very friendly to anybody and everybody
Yeah.
to use because it's mostly flat.
Yeah.
And anybody, any age, kids,
Yeah.
grandmas, everybody.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is you meet a lot of people on that greenway.
Yes, you do.
During the summertime, I mean, it's last summer, I think, when I really started it, and I didn't complete, I'm back inside now. I'm an inside person.
And I've never seen you on the Greenway. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Mine was very limited. But I walked all the way out, I think it's the Lower Creek Circle where you come back around. And and I walked all the way, I did, David, all the way till you cross where the Quest for Life is, and I came back. I would do that. I'm proud of myself. Aren't you guys proud?
You shy?
Very
proud.
Well, listen, guys, I know that we could go on and on and on about the great city that we live in, and I'm just so proud to be a resident of Lenoir. I am extremely proud to be associated with the group of councilmen and women that we have, and I'm so glad to have you guys here where we can talk about our city. And before we close, if you guys just have some closing words that I didn't get a chance to talk to or you didn't get a chance to say, but be mindful. David, you and I are Baptists. We got to be mindful. We got other folks that needs to chime in, so we don't want to dominate the whole time here now.
You go ahead, Dave.
Well, I just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to get, you know, so often we live with the decisions that we make and so forth, and we work on those behind the scenes where it's great to have an opportunity to speak about the things that we do and the things that we're trying to help with. And I, for one, am very happy to be part of the process that accomplishes some of these items we've talked about this
Very
morning.
good. Yes. So,
Well, serving on city council has been one of the honors of my life.
Yeah.
I did not intend to go into politics as a young person, but it just came upon me at this point in my life. And serving the taxpayers and the residents is just an absolute joy for me. I see it as a huge responsibility. I take it seriously all the time, and I hope that I get to continue that. And you know, serving local businesses and residents and the employees of the city is just such a wonderful thing to be involved in. And I've learned so much from my fellow councilmen, every one of them. I appreciate everything they have done for me to help me get through the process, because between numbers and policy and procedures, I tell you, there's a lot to learn. And and I thank you for this opportunity today.
Good. In my last, and while back, I don't know, Jonathan, if we've done this since you've been on the council, but David, we used to have community meetings and community gatherings where the council and the directors, department heads would go out, and I missed that. And this is a small part of what we would do at those community meetings, and I just wish that we could do these more. We can't all do the community because of the COVID and going on, but I'm hoping that sometimes later on that we can get back, if it's nothing else, but just doing this and just sharing with the public what we do and what we intend to do, and letting everybody know that your community, your street is important to us. There's nothing there that we want to overlook. So we just want to say thank you. And if you ever need any one of us, just give us a call. We are here. If you guys don't mind, could you give us a little information, telephone number, or you don't have to give your cell phone, whatever you want to do, just so folks can say, okay, Jonathan said something about the trash trucks. I didn't get my trash picked up. I need to call Jonathan.
Well, a lot of times, calling us, we may be able to transfer to somebody else.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad for any citizen to call me anytime.
Yeah.
My number is 828-217-9764. And a lot of times residents call when there's a problem, and that's fine. And most of the time, I have to go ask somebody a question.
That's exactly
I have to call the department head, or have to call another or the mayor, to get more information. But that's part of our job, is to take those phone calls.
Absolutely.
And call me anytime, folks. Anytime.
My number is 828-758-8431.
Okay, very good. My number is 729-58. Careful. 92. 729-5892. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. And I know our time we've expired, but thank you guys so much. And maybe in the future we can get back with all of us and do this again.
Sounds
So
great.
good luck in the campaign. Early voting starts tomorrow. So go out and vote.
Yes, please exercise your vote your right to vote.
And that too.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into another exciting segment of Straight Talk, where we get straight to the questions and answers that you would like to ask some of the leading people in Caldwell County. We look forward to bringing you podcasts that make an impact in our communities. So tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock, where we will bring you Straight Talk. We want to keep you informed on activities that are going on within our communities. Be blessed. We will see you next week.